What's up, everybody? Kyle Spears here, Blacklisted Voice, episode 12. We are here with Roderick Holloway. Roderick is a former games team athlete and regional individual competitor, looking to make some sanctional bids for whatever the sport looks like in the future here.
Yeah.
But Roderick's going to kind of chat with us, talk to us about his athletic background, and just kind of like some things he's learned. And as well, he's a coach too. So we're going to just kind of dive in and hear some more from him. So, Roderick, you want to introduce yourself and just kind of chat about your athletic journey here?
Yeah. I'm Roderick Holloway. I've been doing CrossFit for about 7 years now. Before CrossFit, I did gymnastics since I was 3 years old. So I did gymnastics since 3 till 18 years old. Competitively in gymnastics, I was there for 13 years. And then after that, I took a little hiatus going to college, gaining weight, not doing anything. Living college life.
You have the freshman
And
15?
I did actually exactly 15 pounds. Yeah.
That's
And
sweet.
what really made me lose that weight was I went home and my grandma looked at me, didn't even say hi, and said, "You look bigger."
No way.
Yeah. Yep. So after that, I was like, "Oh shit. Okay, I'm gonna lose this weight."
Yeah, at least you went down that route, because there's plenty of guys that'd be like, "Oh yeah, I've been hitting the weight room. I'm looking
No,
good."
I knew I had
Grandma.
not been hitting the weight room yet.
Yeah. So
So
what does like when you said you were a competitive gymnast, I'm sure everybody that like was like, "Oh, I wish I had done gymnastics growing up," just got very jealous. So
yeah.
what does like competitive gymnastics look like from like a young age? Like how do the competitions work? Like what is like competitive on a national level look like?
So I mean, at 5 years old, not very much. I would probably be at the gym for 2 hours a day, 4 days a week,
Okay.
which is a lot for a 5 year old.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
but
That is a lot.
um, as I got a little bit older, probably 9 years old, I started going to the gym 4 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Okay.
So my life was pretty much school, gym, homework, go to bed. Like
Yeah. Wow.
anywhere in between I could eat.
Yeah.
That was my life
Yeah.
for 13 years.
Okay. Okay.
Um, so a little sheltered.
Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah.
Everything you know is
But
in the gymnastics realm.
as far as competitions go, where I'm from in Missouri, we didn't have very many super competitive gymnasts. I
Okay.
was like, I won state probably, I don't know, eight, probably 10 times. I don't know. I don't
Oh
remember.
wow. Okay. Yeah.
But it was pretty easy in our state. So we would go to like Texas, where they're really competitive in gymnastics, and that was like
Yeah.
nationally ranked. And I made regional team probably 5 times. I
Okay.
made national team a few times. I
Yeah.
competed at the Olympic Training Center. I
Was that
did.
a pretty cool experience?
It was really awesome. That made me
Yeah.
want to live in Colorado. It was in Colorado Springs, so
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's
yeah,
sweet. So
yeah,
like what does your competition entail? Like do you have like rings like
yeah. So there's 6 events for guys:
okay.
floor, pommel horse, rings, vaults, parallel bars, and high bar.
Okay.
Uh, my favorite event was probably high bar,
Okay.
20.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have longer arms, so I can get a little bit more momentum to do more skills. But
Gotcha.
I'm a tall for a gymnast.
Right.
Most gymnasts are like 5'2", 5'3". I'm 5'10". So
You're like reaching off the top shelf for things for
yeah,
guys. Like,
yeah. Like on parallel bars, I have to like bend my knees and to get to the
okay,
bottom when other gymnasts can just keep their legs straight and stuff. But
gotcha.
yeah, I was pretty competitive. One year, I got second in the nation on floor.
Oh,
And
legit.
I was like 11 years old, 10 or 11 years old.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
That's still pretty cool.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I was super hard on myself, so it's like
Yeah.
it wasn't first at a good competition. It wasn't good enough. So,
Yeah, yeah. I
but
mean,
no, it
that's
was
like
super competitive. I competed against a lot of Olympians
okay.
that have been in the not Olympics now. I'm too old. I'm 33 years old. So
Right. Like former Olympians.
former Olympians, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was kind of cool. I went to multiple regional camps with them, and
Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah.
They're all like 5'2" too, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Tiny. Yeah. That's sweet.
Yeah.
So you started working out after your grandma
Yeah.
insulted you, and
Well,
then
not really. I mean, I did start working out, but I actually started working at a sheet metal shop
okay.
just for summer pay. Make
Yeah.
some. I was making $10 an hour. So,
Legit. You're like, I'm rich.
yeah. 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 I live at home, so yeah, I could keep all that money. But
Yeah.
um, I literally no air conditioning, just fans, sweating my ass off every day, and I burned it off in probably 2 weeks, a month, whatever.
Nice, nice.
So got back to that. After that, I got back to school and I started training again.
Okay.
Not
Was
for
it
CrossFit. I didn't start CrossFit till I was 25. But.
yeah, was it more like kind of the gymnastic stuff that you had done in the past that you started training for or
So I actually started doing some martial arts. I did Kung Fu
okay.
for 2.5 years.
Okay.
A lot of body weight stuff, so that's what I was used to.
Yeah.
Kicking, punching, squats.
Yeah. Did gymnastics like transfer over into that?
Absolutely, because I was flexible. So
Okay.
we did a lot of kicking pads and
Yeah. Were you
technique.
like were you like ever like because I've seen them break like boards where they're like standing on people's shoulders and stuff and they like have to
Didn't do
jump
any
up.
of that. That's
No.
more like karate.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So
It
what's the
was more
difference between
like
karate and kung fu then?
Kung Fu is more like style and grace.
Okay.
Just learning to be patient, which I
Kung
need to
fu is
get back and do more of that. My girlfriend's, my girlfriend's right here, and she just stared at me like.
So the life lessons were not learned in the kung fu gym.
For a little bit, they wear off, I guess, if you don't keep doing it.
Yeah.
So,
You don't lose it, you lose it.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Uh,
So you started kung fu and you did that for 2 years then?
for 2.5 years, yeah.
Okay. And was
Uh,
that just in the gym?
that was like a club thing in college. Uh,
Okay.
a guy I met had started the club, and then I decided to join, and I liked working out, so I did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's sweet. And then so after kung fu,
Go ahead.
oh, sorry, what was that?
That was probably the most explosive I've ever been.
Was in kung fu.
Fast. Yeah. Just
Oh yeah,
quick, quick on my feet.
yeah. I'm sure you're just like throwing like a couple kicks and then like resting. So or
Yeah.
punches and resting. Yeah, that's sweet. So after kung fu, what'd you do?
Um, I didn't do bodybuilding, but I did like powerlifting work, and I just regular club fitness workouts, three
Yeah.
sets of 10 chest, 3 sets of 10, bent over rows, that kind of
Yep.
stuff, just to
Yeah.
like get back into the swing of things because I had been training for 13 years in gymnastics and someone telling me what to do. So I had to
Yeah.
get used to getting myself out there and telling myself what to do and
Yeah.
motivated.
So how did you like? What kind of mental process was that, or what kind of like habits did you develop for that?
Back then it was a lot of just writing my workouts down, like
Okay.
day by day, like
Yeah.
kind of what I do now with my clients. So I was doing that for myself. Like
Okay.
today would be chest and back, bis and tries, sometimes legs.
Yeah.
Gymnasts don't do legs with,
Yeah.
so it was like I'll bench instead, or I'll do shoulders
Yeah.
instead. So,
That's
but
what they
that's how I would hold myself accountable was
okay.
I had it all written down. So when I went there, I had to get it done, or I felt bad about myself.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And you had already kind of established the habit of like working out, so that wasn't as much of an issue as it was like the accountability of like doing your own thing.
Yeah, yeah. And I didn't have friends that were super into working out. They were more into the video games and
Yeah.
eating bad. So they'd be like, "Oh, where's Roderick?" And they'd be like, "Oh, he's probably at the gym." Like that's where I was. So
And that's where it was. Yeah.
yeah,
So was it like at that point in time, was it like a quick routine or was it like you were in there like again 3-4 hours or
it was probably at least 2.5 hours
okay. Yep.
each
Yeah.
time. But that was
Right.
with it's not doing an EMOM. I was doing 2-3 minute rest in between.
Yep.
you know?
Yep. And that was back in the day when it was like Razor phone,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did
So
have
you
a
weren't like scrolling on Instagram. It was like
No,
legit
I was not doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. Right on. So you did a bodybuilding routine for how many years did you do that for?
I would say I did that until CrossFit started. So when I was
Okay.
25. So I did it for probably 6 years.
Okay. So you had
Also,
a
go ahead.
like a crazy foundation for CrossFit then.
Yeah. I also did a bunch of strongman stuff. I had met a guy at the gym and he's like, "Oh, you want to come over to this guy's house? He's got a Atlas stone. He's got rope. We're gonna pull a truck." Like, oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
We did a lot of that. We did like bamboo bench where it's like,
Yes, shaking like crazy.
yeah, yeah. But I just loved being fit and working out and finding new things to make myself better.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. So you had a plethora of experience leading into CrossFit then,
Yep, yep.
and you feel like
Yeah,
that helped out a lot.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
As far as like technique goes, I'm super technical.
yeah,
I'm not crazy brute strong. I don't have a heavy squat. I don't have a heavy deadlift.
yeah, yeah.
But as far as like in competition, when I'm doing snatch and clean and jerk, I can keep up with the top 10%.
Yep, yep,
In those, just
yeah,
because my technique is pretty good.
yeah. Yes,
I
I
have
would.
good ability at the same time, so that helps.
Right, right.
Yeah,
And you feel like you get the technical aspect from the gymnastic side of things,
yeah,
or yeah,
yep,
yeah.
yeah.
Um, yeah, for if you guys haven't seen Roderick lift, he has some lifts on his Instagram, but they are he's got great positions and is very technically sound when he pulls a bar off the ground. So you can head over to his Instagram and look at near perfection. But yeah, so did you know, like, when you started CrossFit, did you know that you wanted to compete right away, or was it just
That's the
like
first
you
thing I
walked in?
wanted to do.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
That's the reason I did it. I wanted to get back into competing. Like I said, I had been competing for 13 years, and that's basically
right,
life. That's all I knew.
right, right.
So even when I went to college, I was like, I got to do something. So we did football intramurals, we did softball intramurals, we did racquetball. We literally had like just with my roommates, we had racquetball Wednesday. So we would always go and play racquetball and compete against each other.
Yeah.
I, that's just something I've been doing. That's been instilled in me my entire life. So
Yeah, yeah. Did you dominate the racquetball court?
against most of my friends, just because I'm more athletic, but my friends that are actually had played racquetball or played tennis, no,
Oh yeah.
because they can hit it exactly where they want it, and I'm just like
Right.
slamming it as hard as I can and running as fast.
Yeah. That's sweet.
Yeah, I had a buddy actually in high school that played racquetball in a club and was really good at it. And he could just like stand in one spot and hit it wherever he wanted. And he was not fit. Like he was overweight and he smoked cigarettes and he would kick my ass because he just knew exactly where to hit it. Like, damn it, I'm
That's
running
funny.
away, running around everywhere.
Yeah. You're like, I'm so much more fit than you.
Yeah.
That's kind of like back in the day, like at least when we first started CrossFit, like you get these CrossFit gyms that would start intramural leagues for, whatever, sand volleyball, kickball, whatever. And they're like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm an athlete now. We're going to go and dominate this. And then you get out there and you're like, oh, nope, I'm just really fit. These guys are athletes over here.
Yeah.
But so did you walk into the gym and like you walked up to the coach and you're like, hey, like I want to compete, or like how did you start? Like, did you start in the gym even, or?
So for CrossFit,
Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
so how that worked was I started coaching at my gym, my gymnastics gym that I had been competing at for the 13 years. For
Okay.
I guess it was 11. I was at a different gym, St. Louis Gym Center in Webster Groves, Missouri, and one of the one of my boys, her or his mom owned a CrossFit gym.
Okay.
So she saw all the coaches and she was like, hey, do you want to come try out? Just try it out, see if it's fun. And I had been
Yeah.
wanting to do it forever. I've
Okay.
been looking at CrossFit, like looking at Rich Groening and be like, oh, I want to beat him.
Yeah.
You know, when you look at CrossFit, you're like, oh, that doesn't look so bad. It's awful, but it's great.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, I always wanted to compete, and I'm a college student. I don't have $150 a month to spare on a gym when I can pay $20 a month at another gym and just like,
Yeah.
so she had us come in. I started doing this stuff, CrossFit, and as I got in there, she kind of realized that I was good. Like I could do everything. Like, you know, when you go in there and everyone's like, oh my gosh, you could do a muscle up? Like that
Yep.
was the thing. It's like, yeah, I've been doing this forever. Like,
Nice.
so honestly, it went from there. She was like, do you want to compete for us? So they started sponsoring me.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
I started 3 months before the Open in,
Okay.
what was it? I don't know what year it was. 2013? No. Yeah, 2013. I started
Okay.
3 months before the Open.
Okay.
So I was just learning about CrossFit, just learning about what the Open even was.
Yeah.
Um, so I didn't really do the Open that year. I just kind
Okay.
of saw people do it because I
Yeah.
was terrible at double unders. I couldn't do
Yeah.
them. I
There
couldn't
was
do.
only 90 that year, though.
I don't know what it was. I literally like could not do five. I had to spend
Oh, okay.
I had to spend the 5 minutes a day working on double unders until I finally got it.
Yeah.
Um,
The struggle of getting them.
so she decided she wanted to start programming for me. So she started programming
Okay.
for me. I got into CrossFit. I started doing it all the time. The next year, I made regionals.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was cool. I think I took 22nd in the Open in the region or something.
Okay.
And then after that, the next year I made regionals, and I took 20th in the Open and 18th at regionals.
Yeah.
The next year after that, I think I broke my arm right before regionals or right before the Open
What
at a
did you
competition.
do?
I was
CrossFit?
at the Fittest Games.
Fittest experience or the fittest
Fittest
games?
Experience, yeah, Fittest Experience in
Okay.
Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was doing the overhead squat ladder.
Okay.
You saw any of that or not? But so it was 225 to 315 were the weights, and you have to take it from the floor. So I was power cleaning and then jerking it up and then going into my overhead squat.
Yeah.
It was like an every minute on the minute thing,
Okay.
something like that. So 225, 235, 45, go up by 10 pounds so you get to 315. I was on the 315 bar and I power cleaned it, jerked it up, go down for my overhead squat. I'm fine. Start going up for my overhead squat. My arm decides it wants to go this way.
What?
Yeah. So it bends this way. I drop the bar back and my arm is stuck like crooked like this.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So that was a month before the Open and I was feeling really good. Like I
Yeah.
could possibly get top 5 or whatever it was that year.
Yeah. Yeah. For those that are listening, the bottom of his forearm, Roderick's forearm, was like on his tricep, is what he was described. Is that kind of accurate or?
It got close. So it kind of it's my left elbow. It almost like slid down my arm,
It's
and
like
I
down
could
towards
feel
his
it.
armpit.
Yeah, I could feel it in my body, just like vibrate and just like, and as it like went backwards, and then I fell to the ground and I just yelled, "Fuck! Fuck!"
That's so gnarly.
Like, help me, you know, like I dropped
Yeah.
315 pounds behind me. They literally didn't stop the competition. They dragged me by my right arm backwards as my arm was fucking stuck. And I'm in the worst pain of my life. It's never hurt. I've never had anything that hurt so much. And I looked at them and my first thought was like, fuck, I'm not gonna be able to do the Open. Like that was my first thought.
Yeah.
And I looked at them and I go, is it bad? And the guy looked at me and he goes, don't look at it. So I looked at it and I just like, fuck. So it was pretty bad. It was a pretty big setback.
Yeah. Yeah.
Career.
Did they Did they have an ambulance on site?
No,
Yep.
no, I
Okay.
sat there for 30, 45 minutes
Yep. Yep.
with my arm
There
out.
was, yeah.
Like
I'm
I
not.
probably could have sued them.
I mean, I'm pretty sure. I don't know the rules in Texas, but I'm pretty sure that was a stipulation at other places that you have to have like an ambulance on staff or something. I don't know.
It was an expensive trip.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So you're.
actually, I didn't have any family there. I went there by myself. So, do you remember Jen Jones?
Yeah, that name
She's
sounds
a games
familiar.
athlete.
Yeah, yeah.
She was there with her boyfriend at the time, Jared. They're married now. But they actually picked me up from the hospital.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. Because I went there in the ambulance, and then I didn't have anybody pick me up.
Yeah. So you're like, so like sitting there with a cast on your arm, like,
Yeah.
cool.
Yep. Walked in the competition the next day, and I just was watching, but I had a cast like this, and I'm driving my car with one arm.
Dang. Okay, so in 2016 you were injured.
Yep. And so 2017, I got recruited to be on the Timberwolf team, which you were on.
Yep.
And at that same time, I had been going through a back injury because of, my one arm was bad. So I started trying to do everything on my right arm. I was doing single arm snatches. I think I
Yeah.
got to like 165, 175 pounds on a single arm snatch. And so it just like screwed my back up.
Yeah. You're like only pulling on one, like rotationally one way.
Yeah. Yep. So my back was screwed up for probably 6 or 7 months.
Oh,
And
wow.
then I got recruited to come to be on Timberwolf. My back was still kind of messed up, but we had to figure
Mhm.
out the problem. So I
Yeah.
was like, I kind of didn't tell them that because I wanted
Okay.
to be on the team. So I just kind of worked through it. And then as I worked through it, my chiropractor was really helping me out.
Yeah.
And then I got with Trent Anderson, and he started working with me
Yeah.
a lot, and that helped. So I don't have any back issues like that anymore.
Right, right.
Um, it flares up a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, every once in a while.
So yeah, I started doing that. Started training with the team. Got down to the lightest I've ever been because team is like all cardio, not as much weightlifting. So I was like 190 pounds
Oh, okay. I see what you're
at the
saying.
games.
That's because
So
like it is totally the opposite for me. It's like,
really,
uh, yeah, because for me it's all like anaerobic, so I just put on weight like it's freaking cool.
do you,
So
man?
because it's like so high power output.
Yeah,
So like, yeah, that's interesting.
yeah. I lost a good amount of weight.
Okay, okay.
Doing that.
Yeah, was that training for regional specifically or games specifically or?
That was more training for the games.
Okay, yep. That makes
Regional, we kind of went in knowing we were going to make it.
yeah.
Pretty
I mean, that region was still stacked in
very
2017.
stacked. Yeah, I mean, we took fourth place.
Yeah, and you
Yeah,
guys took eighth place at the games.
yeah, yeah.
I was helping Detour out that year. I was coaching a couple of people on them, and so this is just how tough your guys' region was that year. Is they typically in the third weekend, those are usually the best scores of the weekend. But this year, the Central Regional was the second weekend, and the sixth place team at the Central Regional, if you compared all the scores over the weekend relative to everybody else, they were in 14th place overall. So like the top five went to the games, and the sixth place team was in 14th place overall compared to all the other regions. So yeah, so you guys' region was pretty insane that year.
Yeah, at the games, I think it was 4 out of the 5 from our region were top 10.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then I think the following year too, it was like 4 of the 5 were like the top 5 inside the games or something like that. So
Yeah.
the rest in peace regionals, you
Yeah.
were Central Regional was freaking stacked.
Yes, it was. It needed to be split up for sure. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. That one was crazy. But what was your experience like at the games? Were you like pretty pumped to qualify?
Oh, I was very pumped to qualify. But like after we qualified for regionals, I was like, there was a little period of like, yes, we made it. And then like that was it. It was like, okay, back to work. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like I didn't want to go to the games since I ever started.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was super, super exciting.
Yeah.
Once we made it, it was like, all right, get back to work. Honestly, when we got there and we got 8th place, I was not happy.
Yeah.
Happy with what we did. There was some things that happened that just didn't work out that year, but
Yeah. Yeah. It was fun watching you guys though. You guys like it was fun seeing you guys be like as successful as you were because
yeah,
the previous year we were God, it was like 29th place or something like that.
career.
So
Yeah, I think I heard that.
yeah, so like it was cool to see you guys kind of bump up the rankings a little bit.
Yes, yeah.
The team was significantly better than my year. So
I
that was
mean,
cool.
with Andrea and Kelly on the team, they were
They're monsters.
that year probably two of the best girls on a team
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
You
I
knew
mean,
that they were going to put it all on the line and
yeah. In
kill
26
themselves doing it.
what's that?
You knew they were just going to go out there and kill themselves doing it. They were going to work as hard as they could, and
Yeah.
if they didn't do good enough on one event, they're like, all right, well, I'm going to kill this next event.
Yep.
Literally what happened on for like Kelly Wild is she's so short. She messed up on the obstacle course and
Okay.
she was just livid and wasn't talking to anybody.
Yep.
And the
Sounds good.
next event was clean and jerk. And she's an Olympic lifter. So I was looking at her and I was like, she's gonna PR. Like she's so mad she's gonna PR her clean and jerk. And Shane at the time, who was her boyfriend, he's like, let's record that because I hadn't talked to her because she wasn't talking to anybody. So he like recorded me and I was like, she's so mad she's gonna PR this. She went out there, she PR'd by like 6 or 7 pounds, like her lifetime PR at the time after like destroying herself the day before. These girls are fucking psycho. Like
Yeah. They were so
good.
good. Yeah, they were so good. It's crazy.
Yeah.
They could like basically every year that they competed on the team, they could have been individual like games athletes for sure.
Absolutely.
They were good. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun competing with them. Like they competed hard.
Yeah. Yeah, they're another level.
Yeah. So like after that, like after the games, like was it kind of like break time? Did you take a break? A little bit of a break?
I did take a break. I probably took a 2-week break from actually working out.
Okay.
But then I got back to it, not super hard. And then I don't know when it was. I mean, we're training for next year, hopefully have a team and stuff. And then they switched it to 4-person teams and everything went out the window. So the team kind of disbanded and they found different teammates and nobody knew what was going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
That year I kind of focused on my business.
Okay. And that was
clients together.
2018, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. And then now it's kind of like the focus is back on 4-person team for sanctional events or.
Yep. Yeah. I started doing grid, Florida Grid League.
Oh yeah.
Semi-pro grid.
Yeah.
Been on the Miami Surge, which was professional grid, as a bodyweight specialist. And I went to a competition and one of the girls was like super competitive. So I asked her if she would be interested in going team and we would like find another guy and another girl.
Yeah.
And so we did that, got everything together. We're going to go to Egypt. We were going to go to China. We were going to go to Mexico.
You guys are set up this year.
And then this bitch COVID decided to come along.
Yeah.
Like, nope, you're not going anywhere. Staying home.
So, yeah, these guys, Roderick's team did the international qualifier 1. So this was back in like October. No, right before the Open, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So right before the Open. So the Open was October. So this would have been September that you guys did your qualification process. and they were planning to go to the Canada event. I can't even remember the name of it right now. Do you remember it?
Montreal.
In Montreal.
Atlas Games.
Yeah, so they were planning on going to Atlas Games and the China competition, which you guys ended up doing qualifiers for in December.
Yeah.
And they decided not to go to Wadapalooza, even though I think you guys would have qualified for it.
Yeah, we would have, and I didn't realize it. But
So they decided to not go to Wadapalooza and go to Atlas Games instead. And then COVID just freaking destroyed all their competitions.
yeah. The goal this year was to like travel, go to all these competitions.
Yeah.
A chance to make it to the games. And then all that happened. We actually got to Montreal. I was there for 2 days. And then they canceled it. So we were like, we got to get out of here so we don't get stuck in Canada.
Yeah. That was bad. It was what it was, but
Yeah.
I felt so bad for everybody. You
Yeah.
think they could have at least told you guys like ahead of time or known ahead of time or something, but
They didn't know. The government was the one that shut them down. If the government didn't shut them down, they would still had it.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you
So
don't
it's
think
just government mandated.
Gotcha. Okay. So it wasn't really on them then?
No, they tried the best they could. I know they did. It was just frustrating in general.
Yeah. Yeah, that just sucks. Yeah. I remember you like texting me like they just cancel it. I was like, no fucking way.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was really good, like events.
I know.
Really good. We were like, oh, we're stoked.
Yeah.
So much body weight stuff.
Yeah. Heavy snatches, which both you and Brian are great at.
Like this is gonna be great.
Yeah.
Then at first they were like, oh, we'll try to reschedule it because they didn't know what was gonna happen with COVID.
Right.
It's like, please keep the same events.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we'll switch up the events. No.
No. That's the opposite of what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so now it's kind of, again, I guess the sport has changed for like the 15th time in the last 3 years, I guess. So we're kind of just waiting and seeing what.
We'll see what this new guy does.
Yeah. We're doing this on podcast on the day that CrossFit sold to the owner of True Coach. So Eric something. I can't. What do you remember his name now? I can't remember it.
Do you remember his name?
It's like Zappo.
It's
Or
Zach.
something like that. Are you looking it up?
Trying.
Yeah, it'll be because I know Loud and Live is doing something totally separate right now. And then another interesting thing is Competition Corner is putting out the ability to do circuits. So there might be a circuit option for the sport now too, depending on if somebody takes that over. So there's like a lot of different possibilities.
What does that mean?
So basically how Ironman or NASCAR or IndyCar racing runs their events. Like you have to go to several events and accumulate points. And then from the points that you accumulate at all these events, you can either you qualify for the next stage or a games bid and whatever the games turns out to be. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like if Loud and Live has 5 competitions and you have to go to let's say you have to go to 3 of their competitions to earn.
I like that idea.
Yeah. Oh, that's like the best way to do it. Hands down, the best way to do it. Because you have so many of these events, and if you again, sanction the event and then give each event a point total for if you qualify or not, and you have to go to 3 events, that automatically makes all the athletes go to at least 3 events in the year. You kind of want to pick and choose where you want to go to so that you're not going to these hard competitions. So it kind of spreads the competition out a little bit more. And then you get way more of data points on what the teams or athletes are actually like, because you have biases at each different event. So it's not like somebody who has a very big strength bias just gets a bunch of strength events at, Atlas Games, or for you guys, you get, lifting and gymnastics bias at Atlas Games, and you get a bid, you'll be tested over several different biases through the course of 3 events or something like that. So
okay.
That is the way to go. That's the way the sport needs to go, is a circuit style type thing.
Yeah, I agree. thought that for a long time.
Yeah. So did you find the guy's name?
Eric Rosa.
Rosa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be, I guess he's doing a YouTube live in like almost 2 hours here.
3:30 your time. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to watch it though, to be honest.
No?
Oh no, I'll get the spark notes from somebody. There'll be enough like memes on Instagram that I can fill in the pieces.
Yeah. Yep.
So one thing like you've been kind of mentioning is you're a coach now yourself. You do individualized coaching for people. You do personal training. You coach group classes. One of the watching you from afar, one of the cool things that you're able to do is kind of take your gymnastics background and apply that to coaching. Could you just like kind of talk about that a little bit more and how it's helped you become like a better coach?
In gymnastics, these skills are not just based on if you do them or not. Like in CrossFit, if you do a power clean and you stand up, you did the power clean.
Mm-hmm.
In gymnastics, if you do a back handspring, there's so much that goes into it. That's just one skill. But there's so much that goes into it that if your legs are bent, you get a 10th off. If your toes aren't pointed, you get a 10th off. If your feet aren't together, you get a 10th off, whatever.
Yeah.
So when I'm coaching, I'm looking at all of those things.
Okay.
Like I obviously want you to be very proficient at it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be one of those coaches that's like, oh, you PR'd, but your back was round and your feet were really far out and your knees were in and your head was down, whatever. I'm not going to so much congratulate you for doing the lift if it looks like shit. So I'm not telling my clients that you look like shit, but I'm saying, okay, this is what we need to do to make this correct and the technically sound.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like that's really what I bring to the table when I coach.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep you safe. I'm going to make sure you're doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be happy with the result because you're going to keep progressing because that technique has come so far for you.
Right.
That's what gymnastics did for me, is that I feel like I can see more than other people can.
Yeah. Like your eye for movement is really good.
Yeah. Okay. Like if they're like, okay, my back keeps rounding, why does that happen? Like you're just saying your back is round, but maybe it's, you're not pushing your knees out, or you're not, engaging your scaps in the back, or what, just like certain things that it's not just this one thing. It all stems from your entire body.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can see this causes this, causes this, causes this.
Yeah. So you can almost like, you see the problem, and then you can kind of, because of like the gymnastics background, you kind of work backwards and figure out where that, like where the log jam is actually happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's cool.
So like when someone's doing a handstand hold or something and their head is way out, what that causes is it causes your chest to come out, and then it causes your stomach to come out, and then it causes your hip to come out. And then now at the same time you're doing that, you're fatiguing your shoulders more because you're plunging and you're putting more emphasis on your shoulders. Like there's a lot of stuff going on, not just your head is out.
Right.
So that's kind of what I see when I'm coaching somebody.
Yeah. So like you obviously have this very in-depth knowledge behind movement. Is that how you kind of communicate to the people? Like or do you like, do you explain it differently? Like when you when you see that log jam, do you kind of attack that, or do you explain like the process behind why you might want to focus on a certain thing? Does that question make sense?
It depends on the athlete. If I feel like I'm going to overload them, because there's a lot of information there, I don't want to say everything. I want you to fix the one thing I talk about. Like, okay, let's put your head down.
Yeah.
And if that fixes one issue, it'll fix another issue, and it'll fix another issue. And I didn't even have to say those other things.
Right.
So you don't want to overload them. But if it's like someone like you, like you're a coach,
Yeah.
because it's a really long time. I could probably go into depth with you more.
Yeah. Yep.
Wouldn't overload your head and be like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, you just told me a ton of things to think about. Like,
Yeah.
it wouldn't matter. So it really just depends on, if it's the normal gym goer who comes in, I'm going to tell
Yeah.
them
Yeah.
one thing,
Okay. Yep.
and then we fix that, and then we move on to the next thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Overload.
Yeah.
And that's kind of an issue that I think some gyms have is you have one coach telling you one thing and one coach telling you another thing and then another coach telling you another thing.
Yeah.
None of them may be wrong,
Right.
but now you're overloading that athlete.
Yeah.
They're forgetting what they need to think about.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
one's more important?
Yeah. I would always ask people when they came in, like, if they were, kind of like not getting something, or they're like, so and so told me this differently. I was like, oh, okay, what'd they tell you? And like kind of like ask them some more questions and kind of build off of what that other person told them, rather than like, well, you should probably be focusing on this. And then now all of a sudden it looks worse because they have, like you said, 6 things going through their mind. So, yeah. So like, how do you guys combat that at your gym then?
I think honestly, most people try to go to the same classes.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, they see a lot of the same coaching.
Gotcha. Okay. Yep.
Before COVID, we did have coaches meetings and stuff to kind of go over things.
Yeah.
COVID obviously has never happened before, so everybody's trying to get situated in that.
Yeah.
But, I feel like we have a lot of good coaching at Timberwolf.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big thing we offer there. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Right on. Yeah. 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 It's interesting getting growing up in that much detail, like around movement, where like, your big toe is like pointed differently and you get,
Yep.
you lose a match or a meet because of it. But it's cool that it also like transfers over into coaching a little bit more, because you are like, you have that much more attention to detail now. So
yes. Yeah.
Did it come easy, like for the Olympic lifts as well, getting that much attention to detail, or was that kind of a slower build process?
No, it was easy.
Okay.
It was easy realizing like I'm super visual, so and I know I've learned since 5 years old how to move my body and how to move every part of it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, I've had clients that they're up swinging on the bar doing kipping swings or kipping pull-ups, and I'm like, straighten your legs, and they're like, I thought they were straight, and I was like, your heels are touching your butt. If you bend it more, it's gonna pop out. Like they don't even know that their legs are bending or their legs are apart.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're looking up. Like it's amazing going from that lifestyle where my coach is seeing everything that I'm doing, every part of my body.
Right.
I'm doing everything I'm doing, every part of my body, to people that are not conditioned to see or feel what's going on. They're just
right.
Do it and try it, and they don't know if their legs bent or straight.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
It took me a little while to comprehend that you wouldn't be able to feel something like that.
Right.
So
yeah, because that was so different for you.
Yes.
Yeah. So did that take a little bit of patience then? Some patience practice?
Absolutely. It still does.
Yeah. Still does.
Yeah, they're like, all right, calm down. They don't know.
Yeah.
They honestly don't know. I don't know how they don't know, but they don't know.
They don't know.
So, you do certain things, like you stick their legs are apart, you stick their socks between their legs, or their knee sleeves between their legs, just so they can feel that something's there.
Right. Yeah.
I've learned different cues to just kind of get them to do what I'm trying to.
Right.
Feel in them.
Do you find so like in class population, this definitely varies per person, but have you found like so in like the level 1, they talk about like visual, tactile, and then verbal cues. So tactile being touch, visual being you showing them. Do you find like there's one set cue that works a little bit better in your classes than others, or set style, I should say?
So with the very, very new athletes, I feel like tactile works better.
Okay.
Um, with the kind of intermediate who have been there, visual works better.
Okay.
So obviously you kind of show everybody what's going on. And
Yeah.
being an athlete and actually competing in all of this, it's easier for me to do so. Like I know there's some coaches that aren't able to do everything.
Right.
So you have to actually learn how to use other cues to show them how to do a bar muscle up if you can't do a bar muscle up. So that helps me a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually took my L2 last year, I think.
Oh, nice.
Just sometimes you need a refresher as a coach. Like you just need
Yeah.
clean your slate, go to a class. And like I've been doing this a really long time, and I feel like I'm a pretty good coach.
Mhm.
But there's sometimes you just get overwhelmed and it's like, I keep saying the same thing. Like I just need to be refreshed. So
Yeah.
it's really good to go to those classes. And I feel like when I learned like, okay, instead of like taking their arm and pulling it up and be like, okay, your front rack needs to be this much higher. You need to get your elbows like more towards where your shoulders are. You
Yeah.
put your hand out and you go, okay, touch my hand. And like, that's been a really good thing for me that I just didn't think about as much.
Right. Right.
I think a lot because I used to work with, my age range was like 5 years old to like 12 or 13. So I'm spotting these kids all the time and I'm be like, okay, get into this position. And like grabbing their legs and grabbing their shoulders and be like, this is where I want you.
Yeah.
but
And then they're like, okay. And they just do
now
it.
I have, 200-pound athletes. I can't do that. So
Yeah.
you're like, okay, touch my hand.
And they're still like struggling to get their front
They're
rack
still
up.
struggling, but you can tell there's a little more activation.
Yeah.
A half an inch is better than where you were.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So you liked the level 2 just from you got some like more cues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I hope with this new coach or with this new owner, not coach,
Yeah.
he kind of instills more refresher courses.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay $1,000 or $500 to do. That it's just like, this is your brand now.
Yeah.
Like own it, love it, and whoever's this L1 coach or L2 coach or L3 coach, they have to go through a refresher course. Not every 5 years, but like there's a convention. I feel like that needs to happen.
Yeah. A convention.
I really love this sport. You got to do something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree. Like when I came away, like walked away from my level 2, I'm coming up on 4 years now, I guess. It was like it was like, oh, this is, CrossFit again. You kind of like get in the groove of things and you kind of like stop trying, or like you don't experiment as much. You get in kind of just like you see the same people, you give the same cues, they do or they don't do it, and then walking away from that level 2 was like, wow, these people, this is their profession, and they coach coaches for a living, and they're very good at doing that. And I just walked away being able to bring a way better product to the clients at the gym. So that was like, if they could do that, once a year, put a convention on for all level 1, level 2, whatever, a year, that would increase their coach's ability significantly. So
yes,
yeah, that's a good idea. You should get in the chat on the live stream tonight.
Start telling them what to do.
Yeah. You guys sold it to the wrong person.
Yeah. I mean, I could have put a $20 down payment down for sure.
For sure, yeah. I got $20
I have.
Yeah. So, well, that's cool. Yeah, that's some interesting stuff about like the beginners, like tactile, middle range is like visual, and then verbal for the elite or the higher level athlete. So
yeah, verbal, like if they already know how to move their body, if they've been doing this for, over 5 years, whatever, you're
yeah,
just be able to say something and be like, oh, okay, yeah.
yeah,
Like, I feel like I'm to that point right now.
right,
If you just say something, like I might forget to do it, but like, oh yeah,
yeah,
I got to squeeze my stomach a little bit more, and then I got it.
yeah, yep.
So you don't
Yeah,
have to
it's like
show me as much how to do it. I can just be like, oh, it looks like this. Yeah, that's what
yep.
you said. Okay.
Yeah. It's more so like you've probably like felt everything about the movement out. It's just like giving you one little verbal cue. You're like, oh yeah, like I got to fire my hip flexors harder on, the turnover of a muscle up, or when I go to drive up on the muscle up or something like that. It as you get a little bit more into the sport, you've probably felt a lot more. So
Yeah, absolutely.
that's cool. Well, cool. Do you want to chat about anything else here? Or?
I don't know. Do you have any other questions?
I think we can end it there. Do you have a GoFundMe for when COVID opens back up for travel to competitions, or you want to throw out there something?
I'm actually going to Portugal next June for USA Functional Fitness.
Oh, legit.
Yeah. So I was supposed to be. I think I may have brought that up. I don't know if I brought it up to you or not, but yeah, I was supposed to be in October. It was supposed to be October.
Yep.
But they pushed it back to next June.
Okay.
So I'm already qualified for it. I don't have to do anything else.
Yeah.
Just like that, what you had talked about with Loud and Live, I think. They have body weight. They have weightlifting like event. They have a mixed modal event.
Yeah.
And then they have another one. I forget what it is. But
yeah. And this is the individual one, right?
Individual, yep.
Yeah. They like to structure. It's interesting because like as human beings, we like to categorize things. And so when this chaotic thing like CrossFit came in, you have all these outside sources like trying to categorize it and make sense of it when its true nature is just chaos.
Yeah.
So it's like we have a lot of organizations that are trying to categorize the sport itself. But I don't know, the sport just seems to be chaos to me. I don't know.
It is. Absolutely.
But yeah, so that's cool. That's cool that they're going to do that. Still, so it's down in Portugal.
Yes.
Okay. Sweet. That'll be fun.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited. I wanted to travel all this year, and then everything got set back. So
yeah, I mean, at least everybody's kind of in the same boat that wanted to travel too. Kind of.
I know. I mean, yeah, everything's in this. Yeah, everybody. It was just like when you make a goal.
Yeah.
And you're achieving it, and then the world strikes it down.
Like legit, the world strikes it down.
Yeah. Like I did everything I had to do. I was doing it.
Yep.
No.
Like literally.
No. Yeah. Don't even talk to people. Don't even get 6 feet from them. Just stay away.
Stay away. Yep. Like literally nothing in your control. Just like,
yep.
Yeah. So, but the world will continue, and we're starting to see competitions pop up now. So
yeah, it's exciting. New goals.
Yeah. Well, how do people find you or get in contact with you?
You can find me on my Instagram at Roderick Holloway 55. Yeah, I don't have Twitter. I don't want to get in trouble like everyone else is.
For real.
Just delete your Twitter if you think you need to say something.
Yeah. For real.
Yeah, my Facebook's Roderick Holloway. That's pretty much it.
Right on. Do you have an email address that anyone can contact you?
Cardinals599@gmail.com. I'm a big baseball fan, so St. Louis Cardinals all the way.
Hey, they got the 60-game season now.
Right? Yeah, they're making them play.
Yeah.
Like, all right, that's it. Get to July 1st.
I mean, finally. I don't even know if like the World Series is gonna have like an asterisk next to it now or something. It probably should for 60 games.
That's nothing.
Yeah, that's like literally a third of their season. Yeah, that's crazy. But well, thanks for listening, guys. We'll have this up on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes. Sure you listen on one, but if If you guys can, follow us on either on one of those platforms. YouTube, we put out a couple more videos more than our podcast, so you guys can get some other coaching tips and strategies that way. If you haven't yet, if you're just discovering this podcast, give us a follow on Instagram, blacklisted.hq on Instagram. And make sure you give Roderick a follow. And thanks for listening. We'll chat with you guys later.
All right, thanks.